All right, and we're live. So, how's it going, Santos?
Very well, thank you, brother. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. So yeah, it's
No.
very nice to talk to you and yeah to pick your brain a bit, and we could start a bit with a bit of background information, just so if people don't know about you and your work.
Yep. Well, I live in Australia. I have been doing syncretism now online since 2011 on my YouTube channel, Mr. Astrotheology. So you can go there and see all the videos I've uploaded of presentations dealing with astrotheology. Which is the true theology in all scriptures, and I suppose exposing things, truths that are not so known in the world, in the conventional world. And so I've been showing how to understand scriptures, for instance,
And separating the facts from the truth.
Yeah, endeavouring to as best I can according to my research. So all I claim to be is a researcher who shares his information, and what I'm uncovering is, as you research deeper and deeper, you begin to uncover things that are not so known in the conventional world. So there appears to be a storyline, that the world in general gets fed, and then when you go deeper, you see that things are not as they appear. So that's all I do, and I hope to be able to continue to do it well, and to help people. Really, it's helped me immensely.
All right, and you do some lessons online for people that are interested from your website, or?
Yes, I do. Yep, consultations. They will be astrological, and other kinds of consultations, I guess. Some people just like to learn syncretism firsthand, so that's what I offer. I haven't done many presentations in the last 6 months. I've just been concentrating on my health. So yeah, I've taken a lot of time off, and just to get my own.
Are you better now?
Mm-hmm.
Are you better now? You're a bit sick before?
Still getting there. Lots to do.
All right. And what are you using? Conventional medicine, or?
No, not at all. Never have, never will. Yeah, I use the herbs of nature. So what I'm doing now at the moment is flushing my bowels and intestines and the whole GI tract, so that it will function at its optimum and absorb the nutrients. All Westerners, in fact, the whole world is subsisting on a non-human diet. It's an animal diet, and that has been given to humans by the elites, and in order to subdue them and turn them into beasts. Their minds are ravenous now. They believe that it's okay to eat animals, which it isn't. And so all the GI tract has been distorted, polluted, and blocked. And this is everyone. There's not a human being, whether they think they're clean due to vegetarian diet or vegan diet, Absolutely, they are not. Everyone is polluted, everyone is blocked, and everyone has mucoid plaque, parasites,
Yeah.
fungus in all of their body and all of their intestinal tract, whether they were vegan from birth or vegetarian, it doesn't matter, because the grains, in particular grains, are totally toxic to the human GI tract.
Just all in general, or is it because they were the process that the grains suffer, the drying process makes it more makes it harder to digest?
Yeah, the whole GMO grains. GMOs have been around for thousands of years. The elites have modified all the heirloom grains in order to make people schizophrenic, and to block their energy systems. So vegans, vegetarians alike, they're all consuming these grains. I don't touch grains at all. The true human diet consists of 7 types of food, and they are first and foremostly fruits and berries, then herbs and green leafies, then vegetables, then seeds and nuts. But seeds and nuts should be activated or fresh. So all dried seeds and nuts should be soaked in water overnight and activated before consumed. But those are the only foods of the human diet. Grains don't even enter. They're not even a distant eighth. They are absolutely to be avoided unless you know what you're doing with heirloom, original, ancient grains. And then again, lots of preparation and lots of other devices and tricks need to be implemented, such as, you know, if you're going to make breads, you'd want to, you know, do things like sourdough and a lot of other different things that need to be considered. I would recommend seeds for things like pastas and bread if you really need such foods. And those seeds would be buckwheat, quinoa, amaranth,
Yeah, I like buckwheat.
millet.
Yeah, buckwheat is good. Yeah, and the flour is a bit tough because if you try to make bread with it, it's gonna be like rock, unless if you mix it with something else. Yeah.
Yes, that's true. So there are some seeds that are grown as what they call pseudo grains, because they grow them like grains. It doesn't mean that they are grains. They are seeds, and it's okay to make bread from seeds and nuts. That's fine. But again, this is a processed thing, so you don't need to be consuming a lot of processed foods. The best foods for humans are the foods that you forage, you know, cucumbers,
the fresh stuff.
Yeah, berries straight from the tree,
Yeah.
fruits. They're already complete as a food. You don't need, you know, with animals, you need traps, spears, knives, guns, devices, fences, abattoirs. Then you need all kinds of cooking techniques. You need pots and pans and knives and forks and condiments and oils and salsas and herbs, and in order to distinguish the blood and the murder and the karma that is coming through the animal, which is obvious. You know,
if we can't digest it as the source exists in nature, then it's not meant for us.
That's right. I mean, when you use your logic brain, you can see that fruit, for instance, you go straight under a pear tree, you pick a ripe pear, you put it straight into your mouth, and it's digested within 20 minutes. It has all the flavor you need. It has all the minerals, nutrition, vitamins, sustenance. It's already complete. Now, if you look at horses and cows and gorillas and elephants, they don't get confused. Humans are confused. You know, a horse will never resort to eating a rodent or a rabbit or a frog or a caterpillar, a bug, an insect when it runs out of grass or hay in its stall. It dies. You know, it will die before it eats another animal because it knows that it is not a carnivore.
Yes, it's not supposed to eat that type of food. Yeah, it's interesting, this topic, and I had no idea that you were into.
Hello? I think you're muted.
What part did you hear?
You said I had no idea you are.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just saying I had no idea that you were into to raw diet and being a fruitarian. That's good stuff. Yeah.
Yes, I have been.
Go ahead.
I have been for 10 years. If you want to know what I do and who I am, all you have to do is, if you're a truther, all you have to do is know all the truths that exist, and that's who I am. That's who Santos Bonacci is. I follow truth and only truth, because there are alternative teachers out there. They call themselves alternative media, which is a despicable a thing to call yourself. Ridiculous. You know, media is poison, and alternative media is an alternative poison. I'm a truther, and these alternative media types, I won't name them. You know, I've exposed them many times. They teach such stupidity as there is no truth. You know, I mean, this is obviously from the Illuminati and the black nobility and the Jesuits and the liars who are out there to pollute these alternative media types to say such utter stupidity as there is no truth. You know, I've heard people, I won't name them, of course, but they are very, very prominent in the, you know, in the media world out there, and they continuously teach such rubbish and filth. The universe is built on truth. There is only truth. There is,
but that's the topic, you know, that they have to mix the truth with lies, because they can't.
They are liars. They are despicable liars.
Yeah. Did you hear, by the way, this new story? I think it was today that they're talking about the Pope going to the Bilderberg group. Yeah, like it's such a surprise that they are involved in that type of meetings.
Well, it's not, because the Pope, the white Pope, the black Pope, the grey Pope, they all control every single breath and action that takes place on the plane of the earth, the stationary flat plane, that is. They control everything. So it's only a recent move, whereas they've hidden the fact that the Pope controls these meetings, the Bilderbergers, the Trilateralists, the Royal, the British Tavistock and all of their secret MK Ultra.
And if I'm not mistaken, the Bilderberg group was formed by a Jesuit.
Well, the Jesuits are the military arm of the Vatican, and they are the men in black. They are at the very, very top of the pecking order. definitely more powerful than the Knights of Malta, the Teutonic Knights, and the Knights of Columbus. So the Jesuits are definitely at the very, very, very top. And who controls them are the true blood, the papal bloodlines. These are the Italian black nobility, the Venetian black nobility, such as the Farnese, Orsini, Medici, Gaetani, Pamphili, Pallavicini, Aldobrandini, and the list goes on.
So are you of the same opinion that the Rothschilds are just servants of the Vatican? Because some people believe that they own the Vatican or they control the Vatican.
Not the Rothschild branch. You have to understand the original Rothschild family is the Orsini. Orsini means little bear, and it's an anagram of Rossini, which means little red.
Okay, I've never heard that the Rothschilds were directly linked to the Orsini family.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Roth means red.
Yeah, red shield, right? Rothschild. Red shield.
The Roman red shield. The Roman soldiers used to wear red. They used to have red shields. So the Orsini became the Rosenbergs, the Rothschilds, the Rossini, the Guelphs, the Windsors.
So
everything
these changes of names only happened because they married other families, was it?
Yeah, well, to disguise all the corporate structure. The Orsini family is otherwise known as the Maxima family. In other words, they originated from Egypt. They are pharaonic. They have a very strong German branch, and that's the Rosenbergs. I believe the Habsburgs are also of this family. My mind is not working too well right now.
It's okay. It's quite early there.
Yeah, I didn't have a very good sleep at all for the last couple of days, so it'll come to me though. They are the Guelphs, and of course Queen Elizabeth is from the Guelphs. That's a big part of that family, the Saxe-Coburg-Gothas and the Guelphs. They were warring against the Ghibellines, and the Ghibellines come from the Colonna family. So for hundreds of years, the Colonnas and the Orsini were fighting in Rome to be popes and to have power. And then eventually one of the popes caused them to intermarry and to stop bloodshedding on the streets of Rome. And so these became the Ghibellines and the Guelphs. So the Colonna family and the Orsini. The Orsini went to Venice. The Colonna family went to Genova. The Orsini's power structure went eastward, India, China with the Opium Wars, and the Colonna family went westward. So the Colonnas are the Christopher Columbus from Geneva, set sail, and they own pretty much all of North America. So they become the Collins family. The Collins family is the most powerful family in America, bar none. And they are the Columbus family as well. They run the Knights of Columbus, the District of Columbia, British Columbia, Columbia Pictures, and all of the Collins holdings. Big plantation holders in North America, together with the Farnese family, who control the Pentagon. The Pentagon is in the shape of the Farnese palace in Rome, which is a pentagon.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen that picture going around on Twitter. It's amazing how similar it is to the Pentagon.
Yeah. These families are the conquistador families, and so two families, the Collins or the Columbus family in North America, are the most powerful, but they hold power with the Farneses, who are also Castros. So Fidel Castro pretty much runs the Pentagon and all of the military Jesuit structure of North America. Okay. He also has a lot of power in South America as well. Fidel Castro is a Jesuit, of course. The Farnese family founded the Jesuits with the Borgia family. Now, the Borgia family are more powerful in South America, together with, let me see, Borgia. So you've got Farnese, you've got Pallavicini. There you go. Pallavicini, they are also powerful in the Bank of England. They own that. They control a lot of North America as well through the English-British Empire. And they also run Islam. But together with the Borgia family, they carved up the Americas.
Yeah, this is good information. There should be more videos about these families, because there's not enough out there. There's a lot of and there's a lot of stuff pointing to the Jews and to the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, George Soros, and all these other names that are just like they're just all politicians, all puppets. But
more or less. But the Jewish connection is through the Jewish connection is Jesuit. They're interrelated or interchangeable, or let's say inextricably connected. Jewish and Jesuit really, because they're black, they're Saturnian. The Jews are Saturnian, at least the Eloistic branch. The Geoistic branch is more Jupiterian, and the Vatican is aligned with Jupiter. But it's now been taken over by the Jesuits, who are Saturnian. So Jupiter and Saturn, it's very important to understand this component of control in the world. The Vatican was, up until Pope Benedict, they were Petrine or Jupiterian.
But you were saying that so the Jesuits and the Jews are connected. How? Where is the connection there?
Well, they're conversos or marranos. Originally, Ignatius de Loyola had connections with the underground Spanish Inquisition and the Jewish system. It's not.
I've heard other people say that he was a Jew, but there's no, at least from my side, I've never found any evidence to point into that.
No, of course not, because there's no such thing as a racial Jew. See, the elites, they don't subscribe to the religions that they've created for the goy, for the general masses.
Yeah, of course, it's more for the population, but like there's a lot of truthers that talk about the Jews in a general way. So this
that's just a bum steer. They've been fed that information to steer them away from the true power structure. Okay, I can tell you the names of all the families that control all the religions of the world. Islam is controlled by the Pallavicini. It's in the name, Palla, Allah. Vicini means vicinity, which means this is the family who is close to Allah. Okay, they're Persian of origin, and they control everything about Islam. There's not a thing that doesn't go past the Pope, who is Sergio Pallavicini, and his son. They pretty much run Islam, and the Aldobrandini family as well. So, you know, they pretend to be Muslims, but they don't care about Christianity, Islam, Judaism at all whatsoever.
Yes, it's just a form of control.
Yeah, we need better insights than what is put out by these alternative media half-truthers, I call them, false prophets. So Christianity is run more by, say, the Orsinis. They run the Rosicrucians. Remember, rose means red. Anything that has red in it, in history, it all goes back to this Roman pontifical family called the Orsini. Okay, they are the Maxima family.
Yeah.
And they run Christianity and all its corporate structure. The Constantine family, the Justinians belong to this, whereas the Jesuits are more Farnese, Borgia, and the Spanish connection. The Farnese family, they've always been in Spain and Rome.
Yeah. So if you would recommend one book for someone that is just learning about this topic, what book would that be?
I don't know. I haven't sourced this from any particular books. This comes from many varied sources, and by being not superficial when you do your studies. Okay, so you need to see repeated patterns. You need to read many books, but there's not one in particular that I can point to, because I don't believe that anyone comes up with that has all this information correctly and accurately in one place.
Oh yeah, I don't mean all the information, but like a beginner's course on the Roman Empire that is still alive today.
Yeah, look, that's pretty hard to get in any one place, but you can, you can Google this information, and you have to just keep at it, and it takes years. It's taken me, 30 years.
There's so much information. That's the thing. Takes a lifetime.
I don't like to point to any primary sources, because I believe that they're all compromised in certain areas. They have a lot of truth. They bring it out, and it's good. But then they pollute, their information with what is inaccurate. So I just draw from many sources, and I know what I'm saying is 100% accurate, because it's verifiable in many ways, not just one.
Yeah.
So what I do is I study. And I learn. I don't believe. I don't form opinions. I don't make belief system on what I learn. I just learn. So knowledge is just, it's not partial. It's not prejudice. It's just knowledge. I mean, I know how to speak Spanish. I'm not prejudiced to Spanish, and it's just something that I know how to do. When you know how to fly kites and ride bikes and ride motorbikes, you just know how to do that, and it's true. So what I know is verifiable, and so of course being Italian helps as well, because I know how the Italian system works. By paying attention to all the stories my uncles used to relate to me, and my grandfather, about how Italy works and who the families are that control things. And so they've always known this. I come from Calabria, which has always produced the world's best philosophers and teachers of truth, and who have always been the last ones to fight Rome, and have always been the most suppressed in Italy. And so I used to listen to my uncles recount how ancient, events occurred in the real narrative, not what I learnt at school.
The real history, yeah.
Yeah. So
that's interesting. Where's that region in Italy, Calabria?
Right down the bottom near Sicily, the last province, and they were the last. Yeah, they were the last ones to fight the Roman Empire, the last ones standing. So, Calabria is where Plato used to live, Pythagoras, Plotinus, all the great philosophers ever were, living and teaching in Calabria. Because why? Well, because of the philosophical nature of the Calabrians, and the fact that they tried to be freeborn and live sovereigns and not to be dominated by some non-local corporate power structure.
Yeah, that's interesting stuff. I should learn more about Italian history. Yeah. So I don't know if you've seen some of the videos that I put out sometimes with Johnny Cirucci, mostly focused on debunking the misinformation about the Jew world order. Yeah, I wanted to ask you, is there a topic in that area that you think is the strongest to debunk the misinformation surrounding this topic?
Oh, well, it's easy to do, if you're a thorough researcher. Anyone who's satisfied to get their ears tickled, well, let them be fooled. That's all I say. When you go deep, then you realize that the elite families, they control and use Judaism, Christianity, Islam, and even the Hindu system, because the Jesuits have never been kicked out of India. It's the only nation that they've never been kicked out of. They've been officially kicked out of every other place they've been. So they have a strong Jewish connection, and they use the Jews because the Jewish system, the Jewish people are very intelligent, and they are really, really good at, implementing the orders of, the military Jesuits and the control structure of Imperial Rome. But the true Jews know that Rome is the fourth captivity. Egypt was first, then Babylon, then Persia, and now it's Rome. And when you look at all the 13 Italian imperial black nobility families who control all corporate structure in the world, you will find that they come from these ancient empires. They're Egyptian, they are Persian, and they are Babylonian and Greek. There's a lot of Greek blood in that power structure, and there's also some British blood. Constantine, the Breakespears, the Percys. These are all Catholic families. All the power structure in Great Britain. It's not the Rothschilds. It's the Percys. Like. The Rothschilds put themselves when the Cecils and the Percys and the Pallavicini give them orders. They soil their nappies because these families have always owned the gold and the power and the money since time immemorial, for at least 3,000 years. And these families are demonic, their DNA is different to ours, and they come from the 7 subterranean planets. Now, this is another truth that you won't get anywhere else, because because of the problem of half-truthing that's going on. Under our flat disk Earth stationary plane, there are 7 more planes, and they all have the word Italy in them. The first plane is called Atala, and in Italian, Italia comes from Atlantis, which is Atalante. So Atalia, Italia, is a word that derives from the sunken Atlantis. And the sunken Atlantis is really referring to the sunken 7 discs that are in Bhagavad Gita. They are called the 7 subterranean heavenly planets, because there are 7 in superior heavenly planets, which are the 7 planets that we know and can see with our eyes: Moon, Mercury, Venus, Sun, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, in that order. Now, they are the 7 heavenly planets above us, but below us, in the Hebrew system, which is Sheol, and in the Greek system, which is Hades, we call it Hades, there are 7 more subterranean material disk planes, and these are the names of them. The first one is Atala.
All right, and is this information, is there any information that links to any evidence of this? I'm not saying that I don't believe what you're saying, it's just any evidence for this would be really strong to support this.
Well, yeah, Bhagavad Gita tells you that the controllers of this world come from under the earth. Many people who have escaped mind control will tell you that the controllers of this world, the so-called aliens and extraterrestrials with their flying machines and their advanced technology, are coming from what they call the hollow earth, or under the earth. And they come from either the North Pole or the South Pole, what we call the North Pole and the South Pole. Yeah. And they are way more advanced than us, because they destroyed our technology a few hundred years ago in order to start it again, feed us the technology, and then use it to control us. And the 7 subterranean realms are Atala, Vitala, Talatala, Sutala, Mahatala, I forget one of them, and the last one's called Putala. And Putala is the Spanish word for prostitute, puta, hijo de puta. So, yeah. And in Bhagavad Gita, Putala, which is just another way of saying Italia, Italy, because you see Rome, Italy is the Atlantis that the Atlanteans use and rule the world through the Roman Empire. And so these bloodlines, they were seeded by these extraterrestrials, which are not from outer space. They're from our solar system. You know, they come from the same cosmic egg. It's a cosmic egg universe that we live in, and there are many of them. There's many millions of them. As for these people who have discovered the truth of the flat Earth, the stationary flat Earth, and who are Christians, who believe that this is the only one. You know, God is limited. He can only make one, you know, place to live. Well, they're deluded, you know, because the scriptures hint at many, many cosmoses and many dimensions and many worlds. And this is just one of them. You know, yes, it is created, and we have a creator, and it's divine, and it's and we're not hurtling through space, and there's a, you know, big bang and evolution and all of that nonsense. But it's not the only one. You know, Bhagavad Gita even tells you that there are millions and millions of these cosmic egg universes, and we are just in one of them, okay? And they are all structured in the same way. And in the Bible, it refers to the cosmos as like a big tree, the Yggdrasil tree of the Nordics. It's the central pillar of the torus field of our cosmos, and it's at the North Pole. It's Mount Meru, Mount Zion. It's like they call it a mountain or a tree or an axis or whatever. It's there, and this is the central theme of all the scriptures. You see, this is where the Garden of Eden was, the tree of knowledge of good and evil, and the tree of life, etc. And so everything, the paradise is the earth. It's the paradise plane. And when humans controlled it, and the true monarchies and the true human bloodlines, there was peace and balance on the earth. There was a golden age, a silver age, and everything was perfect. But when the subterraneans came up, they destroyed that, and then infiltrated the beautiful Christian and Muslim and Jewish and Hindu traditions, which are all the same teachings. They're no different to each other. Krishna is Christ. You know, they're all the same one philosophy, but in different, using different words.
Yeah, divided with language and with different beliefs to divide the population further.
Exactly, and what they did was they co-opted and infiltrated these churches and taught an inverted Luciferian brand of this. They've been doing it forever, you know. I mean, they dwell in the subterranean region of the cosmos because they have been cast down there. Some say they fell from heaven. Well, yeah, well, it's the same thing, but it's their choice to stay there because there's a lot of luxury down there, you know, but there's also a lot of suffering. And so, but they love the luxury, you know, the lust, the gluttony, and all of the goings on. They are the ones who taught humans to eat animals, you know, to have a non-human diet. They are the ones who taught humans agriculture and all of these bad pseudosciences. You know, they are the ones who funded Copernicus with his new revolution called the revolution of the spinning earth. Before that, it was unheard of. All of our ancients, they had the Ptolemaic system, you know, stationary, geocentric, flat earth.
Yeah.
And
talking about flat earth and the community, what do you think of it going mainstream and having so many channels and programs talking about it?
Well, it's a bit convoluted now, but it doesn't matter because it's still the truth. You know, this is why some of these half-truthers who have got no idea call the flat earth movement a psyop. Well, because in a sense, it is, because it has to be revealed. This is what they don't understand. All the truth ultimately, in the end, has to be revealed. And it doesn't mean it's not true. A psyop is not necessarily false. There are true ones.
Yeah, exactly. It can be a psychological warfare when people are not ready for it. Like, well, when they are still attached to the belief system that they live in.
Yeah, of course. So, of course, certain dark entities are going to use that. You know, they put it out there, and then they, you know, they think they're also all powerful, that they can eventually rein it in and control it anyway. And they have to a certain extent, but it still does not, you know, make it not true. I mean, all the scientific tests that have ever been done prove that the Earth is stationary. Yeah. There's never been one that has proved the opposite. So they're done. You know, any intelligent person who does their homework will know that the Earth is stationary. So it can't be flying around orbiting the sun at Mach 89, which is 66,600 miles an hour. It can't be. You can't get a sod of dirt that weighs gazillions of tons, which has a liquid magma vortex hot center, which is what they teach, flying through space at Mach 88. It just can't happen. So the fact is, your senses and science prove that the Earth is stationary. And so, and even the names of these clowns, these Jesuit clowns, that from Copernicus all the way to Einstein, all their names tell you that the Jesuits set them up and are making a mockery of you. Copernicus, Nicholas Copernicus. Well, that's Nick. Saint Nick is the devil. So he's a Jesuit, he's a demon. He was funded by the Farnese family. He dedicated his book to Pope Paul the Farnese, who started the Jesuits with the Borgia family and started the funding of the conquistador takeover of the Americas. And they are the ones who are the globalists and who teach this demonic filth of a moving earth, because they know that you can confound people now and make them stupid. And look around. They are stupid and they are confounded.
Yeah, they have to poison us in every way possible.
Yep. Galileo Galilei. Well, any intelligent person like you and I who do proper study know that Galileo Galilei means to rotate and to turn. Because Galilee, see, when Jesus is on the circuit of Galilee, it's the sun on the circuit of the ecliptic, turning and revolving. So Galilee, you can even check this in the Strong's Concordance. The circuit of Galilee means, it says there clearly that it's the circuit of the zodiac, which the Greeks call the zodiac. And so it means to turn. So what were the last words of Galileo when he recanted? He said, "Eppur si muove," in Italian, which means, and yet it moves, because his name means move, twice. And Gal means demon, like gargoyle, Galilean. Gal is, everyone on the inside knows that Gal means demon. So Nicholas Copernicus means Saint Nicholas, which is Satan. And then Galileo Galilei means the demon, which he was, if he was even a real person, because this is all fabricated history. Then you've got Isaac Newton. Well, Isaac means sacrifice. Newton means a new theory, which is sacrificing the truth. See, Isaac, I sacrifice. Remember when Abraham sacrificed Isaac, his son, or was going to, this is all a joke. It's not real history, okay? He, instead of, when the angel stopped him, he then sacrificed the ram that was caught in the thicket. But you see, the slaughter, the word slaughter has laughter in it. Just remove the S. And Isaac means I sacrifice, okay? So
that's Isaac
Newton is a new theory which sacrifices the truth. This is the games they play. Einstein means one rock, one stone. Well, what's that stone? Well, it's the third rock removed from the sun, which is a bullshit Jesuit teaching, which doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've got to look at all these goons and their names. Their names are mocking you in your face. And yet people are too stupid because they're busy being alternative media teachers and teaching filth like, there is no truth, Santos. Truth, there is no truth. I mean...
It's a matter of opinion. right?
Exactly. What do you do with these idiots? There is only truth, and all other principles are subject and dependent on truth. God is truth. The universe is truth. There is only truth. Love can't even exist apart from truth. Justice cannot exist apart from truth. It's the central pillar and the first principle of all principles. Truth can exist without love and justice and power and any other principle, but no other principle exists apart from truth. So there is only truth.
Very good. I know you have to go soon, so I don't want to take much of your time. I just wanted to ask, what are the solutions that you think are worth taking, or what type of actions could people take?
Knowledge, knowledge that is truthful, not opinion-based, and exposing that. That is how you get these people, because they work in the darkness. They do not work in the light. You see, people say that we have an oligarchy or an aristocracy. We don't. We have a synarchy. And a synarchy is a hidden global elite of only a couple of thousand men and women, definitely women as well. And you'll find that they come from these families that their names tell you all. If you look at their names, the Russell family, that means red. Rockefeller, red. Rothschild, red. These are all Orsinis, okay? Medicis, the Medicis, well, they control the media and the big pharma, the medical world, because they are the doctors. They are allopathic.
And they were the ones starting the banking system, right?
Yeah. Borgia, Borghese, same families. These are all the families that wrote all the papal bulls that enslave us, because they are controlling us from under the earth. And they have a lot of power under there, but they will be vanquished soon. They know that their time is up. The writing is on the wall, and help is coming from on high. In other words, the higher heavenly planets like the sun and the moon are being upgraded. And, we on the inside who know the truth know that the sun is an archangel, Michael. The moon is, an archangel. Mercury's an archangel.
Do you think that's why they're trying to put a blanket on the sky?
Yes, because they are trying to block their new
the frequency.
Yes. The sun now is more green, and the effect of the sun's new improved white color, because it has shifted. The sun's central light now has shifted to white. I mean, it used to be very, very yellow. Now it's white, which actually makes a green effect. Everything is going green. Green is an anagram for energy. Both words mean the same thing, green.
We have
green.
Sorry, go ahead.
Green is the true color of all colors. It has all the other colors in it. And it's the heart chakra. It's the center. It's the earth. Earth is an anagram for heart. And so what the sun is doing now is it's making a more peaceful energy on the earth, which will sort of clear out all the warmongering and all the control system that is going on. So the chemtrails and all of this is only just a measure, like a band-aid measure, to sort of prevent this happening sooner. Yeah.
All right. Okay. This was more limited than I wanted, but we should do it. We should do this sometime later.
Yeah, for sure, brother. My pleasure.
All right. Okay, I'll let you go. thanks very much for taking the time to talk. And
Yep. Thanks, Mig.
I'll see you soon, man.
Yep. Take care. All the best.
You too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.